My name is Just Us. I go by Juju. I am in the Audio Arts Bachelor's of Science completion program with a concentration on music production. I observed Megan Ashley. So, Megan Ashley is a host of a podcast called In Totality. I originally discovered her when she was in a co host. She was the co host of a podcast called Know For Sure. She broke off, did her solo thing, or is doing her solo thing. And so, yeah, I decided to check her out on TikTok as well as Instagram to do like a compare and contrast. And one thing that I observed was that on Instagram, Megan has a personal profile, like a profile for herself, and then she also has a profile for the brand In Totality podcast. However, on TikTok, she just has a self-titled profile. However, it is not a personal account, seeing as though it's only or mainly including content that is from the podcast. So it's not like any like personal content. To me, it's obvious that Megan's platform of choice is Instagram because the tone on this platform is more personable, more relatable, and is relatively vulnerable, whereas TikTok is less personable with more business and brand oriented content. So I would definitely conclude that the content on either platform is much different than the other. Her I am Megan Ashley Instagram is very different from her I am Megan Ashley TikTok. It would also, to me, seem like the TikTok is like a merge of herself and her brand, whereas those two worlds are separate on Instagram. So as of late, I would say the most frequently posted content from Megan Ashley is her recently held conference titled Acts 242. This seems to still be a lingering focus of hers. I would say I feel most engaged by the content from this conference, as I did travel from Nevada to Atlanta to attend this conference. I often will find myself like checking to see if I could like see myself in the videos and the footage that was published on her page and from other attendees, from videographers, things of that nature. So I would say that is the content that I feel most drawn to, seeing as though I was in the building and I got to experience this conference. My takeaways, there's not a whole bunch. One thing I would say, I guess like I observe is that there's a clear age range or maybe even like mentality range on certain platforms. For instance, though I may be categorized in the same generation as those who are younger, Gen Z, I would say that there's a targeted demographic for sites such as TikTok that's just, and I'm just not in that demographic. Whether it would be younger people, those who are younger than me, or just those who maybe have like a more youthful, younger mindset or personality. Though I'm categorized with Gen Z, you know what I mean? I'm not a part of like the TikTok age necessarily. So that's like my one takeaway. And the reason why I take this away from what I've spoken of is that it's clear that Megan Ashley doesn't really use TikTok versus Instagram. I would say I can relate to that. I'm more of an Instagram person than I am a TikTok person. Secondly, I take away that there's a place for everything. TikTok may not be the place for more meaningful or vulnerable sharing like Megan does on her Instagram. Yet there is still value in having a presence on all sites to increase the reach of branded content you're aiming to share, which is why I would say Megan still has a TikTok account. She just doesn't post personal things, she posts branded things for the podcast. Well, I hope I have yapped long enough. That is all I got. Thank you, Mr. Sellers, and my fellow classmates. Have a good night.